Each morning before you leave the yard, you should be carrying out a pre-check. I'll do this with you right now. Checking the critical bolts, make sure the top seals are aligned. Filter, no oil leaks, make sure there's no oil leaks around here, everything's secure, lights are working. All levels should be in this condition while the machine is packed up like this. Checking my decals, no damage or anything or oil leaks around here. Looking under here, critical bolts under there, that's fine. Just glancing up at the top of the boom, no damaged covers, decals, oil leaks around cylinders. I can actually see my oil on the slew gear as well. Toolbox, spare battery, just pressing this button in here just to check the condition of my battery. Full, no lights, so the battery's alright, battery secure. Make sure the toolbox is nice and secure, no diesel leaks. Two wheel tops there, nice and secure. Handrail secure. Checking this wheel nut indicators, wheel rim, tyre, inner tyre, critical bolts on the inside. Going around here, looking at my covers, make sure there's no damage on the covers, no bolts. No oil leaks underneath there. Two stabiliser pads working around here. Critical bolts all in line. No damage to this decal. No oil leaks. Bolts again. Rear flashes. Work lights are secure. Earthing points. Covering points. Potential plate. It's all secure, it works. It's going in the back here. Do a quick check on my lower controls. Check these, making sure there's damage, making sure they return to neutral, make sure this returns to neutral. Checking these. They'll return to neutral. Same with these. Looking for any damage. Make sure they lock in. Make sure that returns back to neutral. Decal there. Closes up. Closes up. Check the bucket. No damage underneath. So there's no damage, this is all nice and secure. Work right, flashes here, working with this corner now. Decals, critical bolts, hoses, light on top, no damage. Stabiliser pads, critical bolts there. Now I'm going to go on top here. This, damage around here. Covers, bucket, you look at the bucket, stand, make sure there's no stand, or damage on the stand. Walking around here, just checking my oil level. Check the switch, override switch. Oil level there, oil level around here, oil round under here. Check my ID plate. Okay, that's done, basically done up here. Check the wheel nuts, rear, tyres, bolts. Get two of those, nice and secure. Check my bolts there. Here for oil leaks, hoses, security, wiring, batteries. switch, opening up the toolbox this time. Down, toolbox there. Still got some tools in here for night. Those, yeah, perfect. Grease gun, inverter. Make sure it's on number 2. Make sure that closes. Order. Wires on there. Soap. Check around here. Check here. Here. Make sure they're bolted up. Here, checking the cooler. Electrical bolt from the pedestal. Runner indicators. Wheel rim. Tyres. Tyre condition. Around here for the front. White lights. Flashing indicators. Done. When you start off first thing in the morning, have the machine when it's all closed up, so the boom is on the spoon rest, all the jacks are totally raised, before you check your oil level. Your oil level should be on this gauge. Position it's in at the moment, it's perfect. This should always be checked on a cold morning. If it's too high, when it gets warm, it will come out the breather. If it's not on the gauge, then when in operation, you risk cavitation of the pump. Now we're going to carry out a pre-start lower controls operation check. I will now show you the correct setup procedure for the DHT120. Start. First of all, we're going to chop the wheels. Put out the stabiliser pads. Always put your front jacks down first. The reason for this is because your back axle is usually the one with the handbrake on, and you want to avoid sliding down any slopes. As soon as you feel them hit the ground, go to your rears. Get an EWP as level as possible, which is indicated on this information panel here. You can see my left is just 1 degree lower, so I can put both outriggers out on my left just to correct that, get it near to 0 as possible. These machines will not work over 5 degrees of inclination on the pitches or roll. Once you're happy with the setup, you can then proceed to your bucket and carry out your operations. Once you're satisfied with the lower controls operation, we do the same thing, checking the upper controls before we leave the yard. We're going to check both harnesses, make sure they're in date and the condition of them. Any damage needs reporting and logging out. We're going to check the controls, control panel. Emergency stop, engine start, engine stop, emergency pump operations, battery check, low RPM switch, auto folding, transmit to neutral, control locks, bucket tilting, tool A, tool B, lamp. Also going to check operation of this, sure there's no splits underneath, check operation of your main joystick, and again check if there's any splits underneath. Should be a light on here as well underneath. Check all decals, check decals in the bucket. Once you're satisfied, then you can do a quick fly to make sure there's no unusual noises or movements before you leave the yard. Do right now. careful when you're doing your bucket tilting. Everything's working perfectly. I'm now able to leave the yard to my job. In the event of a low battery warning indication or the machine stopping due to a low battery, first of all you need to do a battery check. If it's low, it's going to show one light on here, and that indicates the battery will need changing. If you're up in the air, how to get down without the machine cutting out is to take the power switch and put it into the auxiliary power, which will drain your battery down, just so you can bring your machine or your boom down to the ground level and change the battery, which I'm going to show you how to do now. On completion of changing the battery, please make sure that you always return this power switch into the power auto position. In the toolkit you'll find a 3/8 ratchet, and you'll find two sockets, which is a 13mm 12-point socket and a 10mm 12-point socket. You're going to use these to remove this cover. 10mm bolts up here, one either side, and a line of bolts around here. Take this cover off. You may have to just loosen these bolts up here to raise this, and then we'll change the battery. Remove the cover. You'll find your battery here. There's a little bolt here which keeps it in position. We've got a connection under here. Disconnect it, and we're going to take this off and replace it with the battery that is already charged in the toolbox. Ensure that you put the battery back in for charging. Then we'll refit this battery in the bucket and do reverse operations of replacing the cover. Clamp on that, replace the cover, then we'll be good to go. There are two ways you can do a bucket tilt with this machine. You can do it from the lower panel now, which I'll show you right now, and you can also do it from the bucket, which I'll show you in a minute. This is for a safety recovery procedure, and also to remove any debris, the liner, etc., out of the bucket. First of all, start your machine. Then on your controls down here, you select your bucket, and then you've got tilt up or tilt down. So go to your tilt down. This will start tilting your bucket over. You can do an operator recovery. It's incapacitated. Or like I said, you can now get the line round. So stop there. To remove the liner, remove this retaining bolt, which should be put in after removing and refitting the liner. It's in a safe place. And then you can remove your liner. Okay. Replacement of your liner, just make sure put this back in and secure with 13mm spanners. When you've finished the emptying or recovery, return back to your panel. Ensure you correct your bucket to as near horizontal as you can. The second way you can tilt your bucket, again start your engine. You have a bucket tilting button here. First switch this over and hold it. And go to your joystick and it says lower and raise on here. Press the joystick down. This will tip over your bucket to do an operator rescue, or again to take the liner out and empty out debris. After finishing emptying out your debris or recovering your operator, again, correct your bucket to as near horizontal as you can by using your bucket tilt and to raise. Emergency stop operation from the bucket. If the operator gets into a bit of trouble, the machine starts moving on its own, etc., he can hit the emergency stop button. This will alarm, indicating that he's in trouble to the below operators, and they can assist. To release the emergency stop button, just twist and release. In the event of an engine failure or a main PTO failure, we've also got an emergency pump which can do an emergency pump rescue. To operate this, we need to apply the function that we want to use. In this instant, I want to retract my boom. We retract the boom, the engine's not running, and I now press my emergency pump switch. This should be checked every day, at least 5-10 seconds. When you're using this in an emergency situation, it should be 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off to let it cool down, and then 30 seconds on again. We recommend on pack up finish work of your machine that you always carry out the auto folding. The machine knows exactly where it wants to be, what it should park up. So if I do that now, I'll just talk through the operations. So raise up the dead man for the auto fold switch, then hold in position. The boom, as you see, will retract until fully retracted. It will then revolve round to the home stow position. If you're further clockwise, it will go counterclockwise. If you're further counterclockwise and halfway, it will go clockwise. It will then drop down over the boom rest, stop at a certain height, and then it will reposition the bucket to make sure that it's in the correct position. All the while you hold on to this switch. If you think you're going to hit anything, release the switch and it will stop all operations. So normal operations from the bucket controls. First of all, I will start my engine. I'm in the boom rest at the moment, so I want to raise up to clear the boom rest and the handrail. raise up by pushing the joystick forward and holding the dead man switch. Then I'd like to go counterclockwise. Again, hold the dead man switch, rotate the joystick counterclockwise. I can now extend my boom, holding the dead man switch, push the joystick to the left. I will extend my boom. Then I can position my bucket where I'd like to by holding the dead man down on the bucket joystick, counterclockwise. With the main joystick you can do 2-3 operations at the same time. So if I want to extend it, go clockwise and raise it. And this is your normal operations for your bucket controls. You also have a tool switch here. If you have hydraulic tooling, plug your hydraulic tooling in here. You've got an A and a B outlet, A and B. Deciding on which tool you're going to use, you can activate your tool switch to operate your tools. You must remember to switch this off in the off position when you're not using tools. This will overheat your oil and cause you damage. So if you have an operator who is incapacitated in the bucket or has an issue with the bucket controls, we can use the lower controls or the emergency controls to bring him down. This will automatically override the bucket controls. How we do this is, depending on which function you want to do, I would bring it down on the boom. So select boom and lower the boom. I can bring this all the way down to the ground if I want to, if he is incapacitated, and do a rescue like we showed previously. If he's just got a problem with his controls, I could actually use auto fold and it will bring him down to the rest, and then he can climb out, the machine can be packed away and be fixed. If the engine actually stops, so we have no truck engine running anymore, we can do a recovery using the e-pump which is on the ground. Again, we'd operate the boom, we'd do a retraction, do a function, then press the e-pump and this will retract the boom. Again, this should be done 30 seconds on, 30 seconds on if it's not a full-time emergency. If it's a big emergency, then we'd continue using the pump until the operator is rescued. Done. Emergency stop operation on the lower controls. This should be released for normal operations to stop the truck and to kill all power to the backboard here. You'll see the lights go out. Just press this, the engine will stop, the truck will stop, the power is gone from the lights, the power is gone from the rear board. To release the emergency stop, to continue operations, just twist and this will release, giving power back to the board, power back to the lights. In the event of the lower joystick not working to recover the boom, there is a manual set of controls situated in the turret and an override switch situated on the turret also. I shall now show you how to recover the boom. To recover the boom though, you must either have the engine running, which I have, or someone needs to apply the emergency pump if the engine's not running. Inside this door here, you see some manual levers. Your bucket tilt, boom, rotate left and right. Bucket raise lower and boom retraction extension. With your hand on this override switch on the turret this side, hold it down. If I want to retract my boom, hold it down, hold this boom in, my boom will retract, turn my boom, things out, next lever to raise my boom, lower my boom. In the event of one of your jacks becoming light, indicated by a fast flashing light here, best practice is to bring the boom back down to the boom rest and reset the legs. But if you can't do that, that's not available, there is a procedure, as long as everybody's aware of what's going on, that you can override the legs to reset them. This is how it goes. Remove this bung here. You'll find a switch under there, which is a spring loaded switch. Select the leg that you want to reset. In this case, it's right rear. Hold the switch down, and then you'll extend that leg until it's nice and solid on the ground again, with the light going, flashing it as normal. Release the switch. Reposition your bung. Carry out an auto stow from the lower controls, and that's if no one's in the bucket or able to do it in the bucket. You need to press auxiliary and auto fold and continuously hold this. You must always watch where your bucket is, just so it doesn't hit anything. If it does look like it's going to hit something, release the button and the operation will stop. You'll hear this alarm saying that auto stow function is activated. In the event of a collision, I'll release my fingers, the boom will stop. To continue auto stow, you can just press these buttons again to continue on the ground, onto the ground, onto the rest. Something. On completion of your job, you will now conduct a post-check walk around, very similar to the pre-check, but this is to make sure you don't leave any tools behind or any leaks or anything have occurred while you're being in operation. Pick up your stuff as you go along.